I was going through my hard drive and I found some videos that I made back in July that I completely forgot to post. And they're part of the Full Spectrum Preparedness series. So if you don't want to listen to that and you're just here for the homesteading stuff, just be forewarned. But I found this video that talks about freedom and liberty and the way things are and the way things ought to be. And it's really kind of funny that I did this video back in July and I completely forgot about it. And then I'm doing this series on freedom and liberty, and I've talked about it recently. And I thought that since we're talking about it right now, I thought I would pull this video up. And it's wintertime now, and these were done in July, so I think maybe you guys will also enjoy seeing a little bit of greenery behind me and seeing some bright and sunny weather, along with a hopefully a good uplifting message too. So let's watch that video, okay? We've all heard the saying, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And it doesn't say life, freedom, and the pursuit of happiness, and it doesn't say it for a reason. Because there's a difference between freedom and liberty. And there's also the is and the ought of the situation. Let's talk about it all and how it all fits together. Well, I'm out here babysitting the goats and the sheep. I don't know if you can see them. They're all the way out there. They're out there on the dam over there. But this is a nightly ritual in the summertime. Until I get permanent fencing up, I have to come out here and I have to babysit them. And it gives me time to think. And I was thinking about a conversation I had with Mike down at the Oklahoma Homesteading Expo. And Mike was the guy that I did the interview with, and he runs the Camp Out Festival down there in the fall, which unfortunately is the same weekend as Midwest Preparedness Festival this year. So we're not going to be able to go down there, and it's really kind of sad because it sounds like a very interesting experience. But anyway, before I go on though, I want you guys to hit the subscribe button if you're not already a subscriber. Come join our community. We do videos on homesteading and prepping and all the related topics. And we'd really like you to join our journey to a life done free. All right, on with the topic at hand. So he was telling me the difference between freedom and liberty. And he explained it like this. He said, freedom is the unfettered ability to do whatever you want. Whereas liberty was freedom tempered with morality. And I started thinking about it. I was like, wow, that's, you know what, that's true. And if you think about it, the founding fathers talked about liberty a lot. And they also talked about freedom. When they talked about freedom, though, it was always in the context of a moral society. All right? And Mike explained that people being free to do what they wanted had caused a lot of heinous activity throughout the history of mankind. And he used the great tyrants of the 20th century, Hitler, Mao, Stalin, Pol Pot. He used these guys as an example of men having the freedom to do whatever they pleased and the bad things that can come from it. And it really explains the importance of the difference between freedom and liberty. Now, if you think about it, think about people in your own personal life that have had the freedom to do whatever they want. And I'm not talking about liberty. They've been able to do whatever they wanted. And think about the problems that they've encountered along the way. Now, think about people that you know that are liberty-minded and are tempering their liberty with morality. And think about the way they lead their lives and the outcome of their lives. And you can see how important that difference is. All right. So now that we've established the difference between the freedom and liberty, let's talk about the is and the ought of the situation and how it all comes together and binds it all together. So the is the objective reality of our life. Things is the way they is, all right? And the ought is our subjective reality of life. That's the way things ought to be. Well, our founding fathers laid out a framework of the way our society and our government ought to work. And it all is predicated on a moral and just society. And at some point in time, we strayed away from that as a group. And we need to get back. So if you go back and you think about the video I did about taking down the live stream where I talked about the truth, about how we should align our perspective as closely as possible to the truth. And once we get it aligned like that, then we can start to work on changing it from the way it is to the way it ought to be. And like I said, we've got a framework. We know exactly the way things ought to work and the way they ought to be in our society. All right. So how do we do that? And if you've been on the channel for any amount of time, this is going to sound old hat, but it's a message that bears repeating, and it's a message that you should be taking out to other people, and that's part of the solution here. All right. So first thing we do is we build community. Community is the foundation of everything that we work for. It's what gives us support in times of need. It gives us the ability to make hard decisions and stick with them. It is so important to what we do. Second thing we need to do is we build alternative economies. We start bartering with each other, and we separate ourselves from the financial system as it is that works to enslave us with debt. Third thing we do is we become active and educated in history and politics, and we evangelize the message of community and alternative economies, and we share our experiences and our knowledge about the difference between freedom and liberty and how they fit together with people that may not have put the effort into it that we have. All right. And the reason why this is important, is because we know how things are. We know the way it is in our country, and we know the way it ought to be. And if you've ever built a house, you know that a house that's built on a poor foundation will never stand the test of time. It will eventually fall down, and it will fall down very quickly if it's not done properly. All right. So our communities, our local communities, and our financial freedoms are the foundational stones that we build the country back up on, that we take the way it is and we build it up to the way it ought to be. And so we can't be the only people doing it. We need to share our message, and we need to get more people online and get them thinking about this stuff and working towards these foundational building blocks of our society and our country. All right, listen, I hope this was not too much of a rambling video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. And at least you found it interesting, I hope. If you did, hit that thumbs up button, hit that notification bell so you'll know when we put more content out. Comment if you agree with me, disagree with me, if you got any way that we can be more evangelical about this, or we can hone our message, put it down in the comments below. Let us know how to do it, what you think we should do. Like I said at the beginning of the video, subscribe. That's how we grow our virtual community, and that's how we share. Subscribe, and do this too. Go over to freesteading.com and join for free. Get on, go to the calendar, and look for things in your area that are happening so you can go become part of them. Go join the state pages. Get on the state page. There's a page for every state. There's a overseas page as well now, and you'll meet people in your area, and trust me, you will meet people in your area, and you guys can see if you can work together, see if it's somebody you want to join forces with in your area, and you never know what can happen, man. You never know what can happen. Most importantly, after you've done all that, I want you to wake up tomorrow, and I want you to go pursue a life done free. All right? Take care. Thanks, Milo.